As the focal point of Raton's cultural life, the Shuler Theater has hosted thousands of programs from early roadshows to boxing matches. Let's learn about this historic New Mexican gem.
The Shuler construction started about 1914. The cornerstone was laid August 20th of 1914, and then the first live show was on April 27th of 1915. So this whole two-story edifice was built in about 7-8 months and at a cost of $55,000. W. Rapp was the architect. He was in concert with Mayor J.J. Shuler.
Dr. Shuler came into Raton as a railroad employee, the doctor for the railroad, and he helped develop the town.
It was actually his dream to have an auditorium. Around the turn of the century, Raton had 5 live theaters. Then the last one burned down.
And Dr. Shuler and the city council decided, since the Coliseum Theater burned down, we need a theater in Raton. So they got hold of the contractor and they built the auditorium into the Shuler building without the permission from the citizens of Raton.
There was some political opposition, and J.J. Shuler and some of the city commission actually had to flee across the state line to Trinidad while the heat died down. So eventually the heat did die down, and the plans continued.
Once they had the first open house at the Shuler Theater with the play going on there, people fell in love with that theater, and they were very happy that the doctor did that.
The Shuler became a movie theater and community event space in the heart of Raton's cultural district for many decades.
It was maintained till about the early 1950s on a regular basis, and then it went dark for about 10 years. And then in 1963, the daughter of the mayor, Evelyn Shuler, heard that there was a performing arts company traveling through Las Vegas. She contacted the manager and said, "Hey, could you come play the Shuler?" So deal was struck, and Bill Fegan and the Kaleidoscope Players played here in July of 1963. And they sort of used it as a coming out of the Shuler, out of its dark phase. It was so successful that they asked Bill Fegan to come back the next year, and then we had the Kaleidoscope Players, a summer theater on a regular basis. Ever since then, it's kind of been a process to keep the Shuler maintained and restored and preserved, and it's not an easy job.
The Shuler Restoration Commission was formed for the purpose of the complete renovation of the theater.
And they had the mission of actually painting the theater in this motif that it is now, the red, white, and blue. The theater originally was in the pastel pinks and greens that you see in the lobby. So 60s was the beginning, and then the Shuler Restoration, we've just been slowly adding on to and improving.
Because of their work, the Shuler is as active today as it must have been 60 years ago. Professional and amateur theater continues against a background of ancient scenery.
I think the Shuler impacts tourism in so many different ways, but people want to come here just to see the building itself and learn about the history. We bring in performing arts series through the Arts Council, and so we do 5 shows a year. And then in the summertime we do our community theater here and also our youth theater. We try to have something going on in the theater every month.
I've been doing theater for about 4 years now. What I love most about the Shuler is probably the history behind it, how old the building is and how many, just the sheer volume of plays that have been here.
I love that it's restored. I am part of the performing arts community. I get on stage every now and then, and so I just love everything about it. And you know, it's the gem here in Raton.
A lot of the challenges of growing up in Raton as a youth are sometimes you feel very alienated, and I think the Shuler personally helps with that because it gives these, these kids that might have very well been outcasts anywhere else, it gives them a place where they feel like they belong and they feel like they have a purpose and they can do something.
This is an amazing room, an amazing place. The presence, the feeling is just so warm and rich, and there's a lot of history, there's a lot of, the room speaks to us, so to speak.
Though you'd never expect this beautiful theater to be hidden in such a small remote town, such as Raton, we pride ourselves in its history. So next time you find yourself in northern New Mexico, make sure to stop on by and experience this unique show house for yourself.